Hello everyone and welcome to another episode of Mythlok with your host Nitin Nair. Well, it gives me great excitement today because we are once again going to explore something totally new that is a little different from all the other mythologies that we've discussed and talked about so far in this podcast. As you know, Mythlok, the podcast and the website, we try to achieve the target of getting across as many mythologies, traditions, belief systems as possible so that we can bring you all the different characters that were actually important to civilizations and cultures from across the world, across different timelines. One of the most significant timelines in the world is the pre-Islamic timeline. We know that Islam has now spread from being concentrated just in the Middle East to almost every country on the planet, with believers who hold their belief systems close to their heart and actively try to propagate and spread their beliefs as well. The Islamic religion started off in the Middle East, but do we also know that there was a culture, a civilization that existed before the introduction of Islam in the region? All the different places, the Middle East like Iran, Persia, the Gulf or the GCC countries, all had different Bedouin tribes who had belief systems of their own. Each of these religions and cultures had their own set of gods, mythical animals, demigods, ghosts, spirits, etc., which they believed in and formed a part of their culture or their daily lives. What we are trying to do here is to start exploring a lot more of those cultures, because we know that any organized religion has had a starting point and there always existed time, culture and people before that. So today we are looking at the Arabian region, or the place that we know as the GCC. So today we are looking at a god from that region, and we have classified it under Arabian mythology because of the geographical region and the distinct culture that the Gulf countries actually have. ANBAY was a pre-Islamic god worshipped in Qataban, Yemen. He was regarded as a god of justice and an oracle, and was believed to be in the service of the moon god Amun. He was responsible for taking decisions on many of the legal matters and paperwork. He is often mentioned with another god of justice in tandem, Haukim. Scholars have also claimed that ANBAY could also be a real-life figure who served in the courts of one of the ancient Persian or Sumerian kingdoms. This is because the written accounts that remain tend to humanize ANBAY quite a bit, where his activities are synonymous with the activities of a minister at court. Not much is known about the physical characteristics of ANBAY, as the growth of Islam, which prohibited idol worship, led to its complete destruction and organized erasure of all previous religions. A few sculptures that experts believe to be of the god have shown him to have the physical characteristics of an average person from the era. He is sometimes depicted as holding a ledger or a sheaf of papers. In Qataban, the names ANBAY and Haukim or Haukim are used together as the gods of command and decision. They probably represent the same aspect like the concept of day and night. The name ANBAY is considered to be a derivative of the Babylonian god Nabu. ANBAY was an oracular god of Qataban and also the spokesman of Am. His name was invoked in royal regulations regarding water supply and legal matters like building or property registrations. With the spread of Islam in the region, the pre-Islamic deities have been completely wiped out, with hardly anyone practicing their ancestral religions for the fear of being branded as an apostate and being charged with blasphemy and sacrilege. This actually puts in a huge spanner in the works when we try to explore mythologies from the region, mainly because the current practices of the Islamic religion prohibit any acknowledgement of the other gods in the past. This has led to an almost absolute complete annihilation of the previous mythologies, although there are researchers and scholars who have taken it upon themselves to really explore and bring these previous religions and belief systems back into the light so that we have a much better glimpse into the lives of the people of the region. We will be doing our best as well to understand the different religions and the different gods that actually formed part of the people in the region, and we hope to bring you a lot more from where ANBAY and the other gods in the belief system came from. Thank you very much for tuning into this episode of Mythlok. This is your host Nitin Nair, signing out by reminding you once again that Mythlok is the home of mythology.